evening from 7 p.m. and on mornings at 7 a.m.
प्रेम से बोला गजानन स्वामी की जय। आदि शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी माता की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। My dear devotees, firstly, allow me to take this opportunity and say to each and every one of you, Sabkoi Sitaram. Before we begin and before we all stand for arti, I would like to call on my God sister Nirmala to please do the welcoming speech, and then we all stand for our arti.
Sitaram, and a warm welcome to everyone here tonight. I would like to welcome Pundit Ajay Rambally, who will be conducting his 5th night of Hanuman Yagna, and this Monday is very pleased to be part of such a 7-night Hanuman Yagna. So I would also like to welcome Pundit Kemraj Rambally, who performed our Bedi Puja this afternoon. I would also like to welcome the Durva Shakti Mandali, a group of very young, vibrant, talented individuals to grace our stage here this afternoon. So with this being said, I would like you all to sit back and enjoy tonight's proceedings. So I'll pass you over back to Pundit. Sitaram, and thank you.
प्रेम से बोला गजानन स्वामी की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। My dear devotees, आप लोग कराओ जाए. Let us all stand as we join together in arti. Hare Gam Ganapataya Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataya Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataya Namaha. ओम रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वीरसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतापरे नमः। ओम दशरथाय विद्महे सीतावल्लभाय धीमहि तन्नो रामः प्रचोदयात्। ओम अंजनसुताय विद्महे वायुपुत्राय धीमहि तन्नो हनुमान प्रचोदयात्। ओम श्रेयानि गानि जपपानि जन्मन्तारा गरदानि च तानि तानि विनाशान्ति प्रदक्षिणं परे परे। आरति कीजय हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी बल। आरती कीजय हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी बल। आरती कीजय हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी बल। आरती कीजय हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी। जाके बल से गिरिवर कापे रोग दोष जाके निकट न जाके बल। आरती कीजय हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी बल। अंजनी पुत्र महाबलदाई संतन के प्रभु सदा सहाय बल। आरती कीजय हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी बल। लंका सपुत्र समुद्र सकाए जात पवन सुत मारन लाए बल। आरती कीजय हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी। सुरनन मुनि आरती उतारे जय 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 हनुमान उचारे बोलो। आरती कीजय हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी। आरती कीजय हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी। चम चम नच देखो वीर हनुमाना
चम चम नच देखो वीर हनुमाना।
ओ चम चम नच देखो वीर हनुमाना।
चम चम नच देखो वीर हनुमाना।
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना।
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना।
ओ कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना।
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना। चम चम
चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना।
चम चम नच देखो वीर हनुमाना।
चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना।
चम चम नच देखो वीर हनुमाना।
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग, कहते हैं लोग, कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना। चम चम
चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना, चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना, चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना।
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना। चम चम
चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना, चम चम नाच देखो वीर
हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना।
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग, कहते हैं लोग, कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना।
चम 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 नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच देखो वीर हनुमाना, 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 वीर हनुमाना।
प्रेम से बोलो श्री रामचंद्र की जय. Please take your seats, my dear devotees. So, my dear friends, firstly, allow me to take this opportunity to each and every one of you, with my love and my devotion, I say, with all of my love, all of my faith, all of my confidence, Sabko hai Sitaram. Beautiful, and a most cordial welcome to each and every one of you. A very special welcome, of course, to my Peter Ji for conducting puja in such an efficient and proficient manner, and a very special welcome to Sankhya television. Without a doubt, one of the number one stations when it comes to promoting, enlightening and increasing awareness of Hinduism locally and internationally. So to Ramesh Bhaji and to Shirley Didi, thank you so very much for being here with us and always giving me your love, giving me your support. To the members of my group, the Dhruva Shakti, Kirtan Mandali, bunch of very, very young, dynamic, talented individuals, I say thank you very much for being here with me. My dear devotees, our Katha tonight is very, very simple, very beautiful, very much easy to understand. But before we begin, right where you are, I ask each and every one of you to put your hands together with me. And as you put your hands together with me, I ask you to close your beautiful eyes. And as your eyes are closed, my dear devotees, bow your hands. And tonight, right where you are, right where you're sitting, I ask you to meditate your mind upon that divine form of Hanuman Baba. Whatever problems, whatever difficulties, whatever obstacles, whatever challenges you may be facing at this point in time, put everything at the feet of Hanumanji. Hare Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kuru me deva Sarvakareshu sarvada Saraswati Namastubhayam Varade Kamarupani Vidyarambham Karashyami Sirhe Bhava Tume Sada Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Gurudeva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Siddhi Bodhi Brada Devi Bhakti Mukti Pradayani Mandra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Om Namah Shivaya 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 Hanumanta 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 प्रेम से बोलो श्री रामचंद्र की जय श्री हनुमान स्वामी की जय So my dear devotees, night after night, the various mandirs we visited, I asked the audience to do me a favor. And each mandir we went by, they did it. So I'm going to ask you all to do the same thing for me. Right where you're sitting, with all of your love and all of your devotion, say Jai for me. But not just any kind of Jai. The loudest and the proudest Jai in the name of Hanuman Baba. As one family, loudly and proudly. Prem se bolo Hanuman Swami ki. Beautiful. Little louder. Prem se bolo Hanuman Swami ki. Beautiful. Clap with me, everybody. Sing with me. Just you and I. No music. Hanumanta, 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 Hanumanta. By yourself. Hanumanta, Hanu, 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 beautiful. Hanumanta, Hanu, Hanumanta, 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 Hanumanta. Together. Hanu, 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 beautiful. Hanumanta, 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 Hanu, Hanumanta, Hanu, 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 Hanumanta, 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 Hanu, Hanumanta, Hanu, 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 beautiful. Hanumanta, Hanu. Excellent. Hanumanta, Hanu, Hanu, Hanu. By yourself. Hanumanta, Hanu, 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 Hanumanta, Hanu, Hanu, beautiful. Hanumanta, Hanu, Hanu. Together. Hanumanta, Hanu, 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 Hanumanta, 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 Hanu, Hanumanta, Hanumanta, Hanu, Hanumanta, 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 Hanu, 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 by yourself. Hanumanta, Hanu, Hanumanta, Hanu. Beautiful, everybody. Hanumanta, Hanu, Hanu, Hanumanta, Hanu, 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 Hanumanta, Hanu, Hanumanta, 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 Hanumanta. Together everybody. Hanumanta, Hanu, beautiful. Hanu, Hanu, little louder. Hanumanta, Hanu, 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 Hanumanta, Hanu, 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 by yourself. Hanumanta, Hanu, 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 Hanumanta, Hanumanta, Hanu, Hanumanta, 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 Hanuman. Everybody. Hanumanta, 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 Hanumanta. Loudly and proudly. Prem Sabal Hanuman Swami ki. Little louder. Prem Sabal Hanuman Swami ki. Beautiful. So my dear friends, I begin tonight by asking you something. It is said, in the world that we live in today, in your life and in my life, there's one gift that is very, very precious, that is very rare, very valuable. And it is said, if you are blessed with this one gift can remove all the pain. This one gift can turn the tears into laughter. This one gift, if you are blessed with it, can bring joy into your life, can bring happiness into your life, can bring a smile into your life. My question to you is, what is this one gift so valuable, so precious, that if we are blessed with it, laughter enters our life, smiles enter our life, joy enters our life, happiness and positivity enter our life? Anybody know? One gift. It starts with the letter F. And once you have it, it brings laughter, it brings happiness, it brings joy into your life. Anybody want to take a guess? Friendship. See that word called friendship? It is said one of the greatest gifts a person can be blessed with is the gift of friendship. But not just any kind of friendship, true friendship. It is said true friendship, my dear devotees, can bring laughter into a person who has been crying. True friendship can bring joy into a person who has been broken. True friendship can bring positive memories, happy moments into a person who has been broken, a person who has been shattered. And in the world that we live in today, almost everyone share friendship with someone. Sometimes that friendship you share has been there for years. Sometimes that friendship is a new friendship. And at some point in time in your life, you would have shared a friendship with somebody. You're probably sharing a friendship with somebody, or you will be sharing a friendship with somebody. And it is that a friend, my dear devotees, can take away sometimes the sadness from your life. A friend can take away the gloominess, the darkness, the pain from your life. And a friend can remind you to smile. A friend can remind you to laugh. A friend can remind you that everything is going to be okay. And it is said, in this world that we live in, there are three types of friendships we all make. 3 types of friendships. And majority of us sitting right here, right now, we have maybe 1 or maybe 2 of these 3 types of friendships. And I'll share it with you. It is said the first type of friendship we all have is the friendship of utility. I'll say it again. The first type of friendship we all have is the friendship of utility. The second type of friendship is called the friendship of pleasure. And the third type is called the friendship of the good. So let's look at the first one. Friendship of utility. What do you think that means? Friendship of utility is when you have a friendship with somebody only because you can utilize them in some way or the other. That is the friendship you share with somebody because you can gain something from them. They can do something for you. And they share the friendship with you because you can do something for them. They can utilize you. Thus you call it the friendship of utility. Example. Let us say you're friends with your neighbor. Why? Because if you are to travel abroad, that neighbor will take care of your plants and water the plants for you. So you make friends with the neighbor. You speak to the neighbor very friendly. Why? So that you can gain something from the neighbor. So that if you want to travel, at least someone will look after your plants. And that neighbor is friends with you. Why? Because if they have to travel, you can take care of the animals. You can take care of their pets. So they gain something from you and you gain something from them. That is the friendship that you share, where I will scratch your back and you will scratch mine. The friendship of utility. And I'm sure many of you sitting here, you would have shared a friendship, or you are sharing a friendship of utility, where sometimes you talk to somebody and you're friendly with somebody just sometimes so you can gain a little something from them. And they're friendly with you because they could gain something from you as well. And you have no problem with it. You are happy. The second type of friendship is called the friendship of pleasure. This is that friendship where it brings only pleasure and joy and happiness into your life. You may not be best friends. You may not speak to each other every day. But if you want to go out, if you want to go and play cricket, if you want to go for a walk around the savannah, if you want to go to the movies, these are the people you call. Because they bring pleasure, they bring joy in your life temporarily. It is that these are the friends you have in your life just to entertain you. Just to bring some sort of laughter in your life a little bit. Just to spend some brief moments in time and create some positive memories. Friendship of pleasure. And I'm sure all of you sitting here, or some of you, you would have that friend just for pleasure. That friend who you call just for fun. That friend who you line with or interact with very briefly, and they bring some sort of joy into your life. You don't talk to them every day. You don't communicate with them every day. But if you call them to go somewhere, they will be there to lime, to celebrate a party with you. And then the third type of friend is the friend, or the friendship I should say, of the good. The friendship of the good is that friendship you share with someone that is based on pure love, pure unity, pure happiness, pure joy. That is that friendship that you share where there's so many things in common, where you have the same morals, you have the same values. It is said the friendship of the good is that friendship that you share where the person who you are friends with, they have a similar mindset like you. They have similar goals to you. They have similar ambitions to you. You are traveling on the same pathway together and you are there with each other, standing foot to foot, side by side with one another, helping each other grow, helping each other succeed. Friendship of the good. And it is said the friendship of the good is the rarest friend, or the rarest friendship to have. Because in society today, we have friends just for a season. We have friends just for maybe a day. We have friends just for maybe an occasion. Very few of us, we have friends for a lifetime. We have friends who we can trust and count on and depend on. And our Katha tonight, it focuses on the friendship of the good. The friendship that Sri Ram and Hanuman ji shared. And I'm going to show you how in times of difficulty, in times of pain, in times of suffering, how it is only the friendship of the good that will last. How in times of sadness and pain, how it is only the friend who you love and trust, who has stood by you, will be there for you. As we enter our scriptures, we clap, we sing, we glorify. Hare Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama Bol Shri Ram Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Bol Jai Ram Shri Rama Jai Jai Bol Shri Ram Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Jai Ram Shri Rama Jai Jai Rama Bol Shri Ram Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Bol Jai Ram Shri Rama Jai Jai Rama Bol Shri Ram Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama. No music, just you and I. Chant with me, everybody. Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Bala Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Rama Bala Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Bala Jai Ram Shri Rama Rama Bala Shri Rama Jaya Jaya. Chaupai says, Darila Guru Pa Gaya Hanumanta Aneyo Bhavana Same Tatoranta Bala Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Rama Bala Shri Rama Jaya Rama Bala Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya. Beautiful. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Bala Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Bala Shri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Bala Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Bala Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Bala Jai Ram Shri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Loudly and proudly, Shri Ramachandra ki. It is said, Prabhu Shri Ram and his army on the battlefield of Lanka, the sun begins to set. And the moment the sun begins to set, Shri Ram and his army, they return to their camp for the night. Ravana and his army, they return to their camp for the night. And as everyone returns to the camp of Shri Ram, he begins to take a roll call. And he starts to call out name by name, making sure that everyone is there, everyone is safe. He called Jambavan, Jambavan was there. He called Angar, Angar was there. He called Vibhishan, Vibhishan was there. He called Lakshman, but Lakshman did not answer. He stopped and he called Lakshman, and once again Lakshman did not answer. And Prabhu Shri Ram, realizing Lakshman isn't answering, he became a little scared. He became a little worried, a little nervous, a little anxious. And everyone started to search around, where's Lakshman, where's Lakshman? And it said, while searching for Lakshman very, very frantically, filled with a lot of fright, a lot of worry, it is said Hanumanji, he lands in that camp. And when he lands in that camp, in his arms, the unconscious body of Lakshman. And the moment, my dear devotee, Sri Ram sees the body of Lakshman in the arms of Hanumanji, he rushed towards Hanumanji. Taking Lakshman, he placed him to lie and put his head on his lap. And he looked at Hanumanji and he said, "Oh Hanuman, what has happened?" And Hanumanji explained that Meghnad, the son of Ravana, has struck him. And being struck, he lies unconscious. And it is said, Prabhu Shri Ram, seeing his brother unconscious, tears started to flow from his eyes. It is said, Jambavan, Vibhishan, Angar and everyone, they surrounded Prabhu Shri Ram, they surrounded Lakshman. And seeing the pain in the eyes of the Lord, Jambavan, he looks at Hanuman and he says, "Oh Hanuman, deeper in Lanka, there's a physician, there's a doctor by the name of Sushen. If you can go and you can get Sushen to come, he will diagnose the problem and he just maybe might be able to find a solution for us." And Prabhu Shri Ram, looking at Hanumanji, without thinking twice, without hesitating, Hanumanji makes himself very, very small and he goes in the direction of Sushen. Finding the home of Sushen, enlarges himself, lifting up the entire home of Sushen, he brings it back to the camp of Shri Ram. And as Sushen, he steps out of his home, seeing Lakshman lying unconscious, lying lifeless there, he looks at Shri Ram and he says, "Prabhu, the only way for you to save him, the only way for him to regain consciousness is if you can get that Sajivan. And if you can get that medicinal herb, I will be able to help him and heal him. That herb will be able to help him and heal him." However, Shri Ram, that mountain where that herb is on is very, very far. Miles upon miles away. You need someone who will go right now and return. Because Shri Ram, if the sun begins to rise and Lakshman does not get that medicine, he will not make it. He will not survive. And Prabhu Shri Ram, hearing the words of Sushen, he was filled with so much worry, he was filled with so much panic. It is said, Jambavan, Angar and all of those surrounding him, seeing the pain in the eyes of the Lord, seeing the heart of the Lord shattered and broken, seeing the worry and the doubt in his mind, it is said tears flowed from all of their eyes. And Prabhu Shri Ram, hearing the words of Sushen, he looked at Hanumanji. And the moment he looked at Hanumanji, you know what Hanumanji did? Hanumanji did not wait for Shri Ram to ask him to go. Hanumanji looked at Shri Ram and he reassured him. He said, "Prabhu, I will go and I will return before the sun begins to rise. I will return with that herb and Lakshman's, his life will be saved." And I want to pause here and I want to share something with you. How many of you, like Shri Ram, in your time of pain, in your time of heartbreak, you can look at your best friend and before you ask them to do something for you, they volunteer? How many of you have a Hanumanji in your life where when you are at rock bottom, when you are at your saddest moment, when you are feeling like if you have failed, you feel lost, you feel scared, you can just look at your best friend and without saying something, they know to be there for you. They know to help you. They know to support you. Very, very few. Very, very few. How many of you sitting here tonight, you have a Hanuman in your life? You have that one person, no matter what, they are there for you. No matter what, they will stand with you. No matter what, they will support you. Very, very few. It is said in the world we live in today, the loyalty of a friend is rare. The betrayal of a friend is everywhere. Remember that, my dear devotees. How many of you tonight, you have one loyal person in your camp? You have one loyal person on the side of you. It is said if you have one loyal person, you need no one else. But as I said, loyalty is rare. Betrayal is everywhere. And that is the life we are living in now. So many of times your best friend, the person who you thought you could have trusted, when you fall, they disappear. When you are crying, they leave you. When you need their help, they abandon you. And that is how the world is today. It is said many of us, we fight our battles alone. Many of us, we cry alone. Many of us, we are scared to tell someone our problems because you're afraid that they will tell everyone else. You're afraid they'll laugh at you. And it is said in society we live in today, 80% of the people, they don't care what problems you have. 80% of the people in your life, they don't care what problems you have. And the other 20%, they're glad you have problems. Sometimes in the world you feel alone. You feel helpless. Sometimes you give so much effort for somebody and all you get in return is suffering. Sometimes you will go the extra mile for your friend, but that friend will leave you in the rain to wet alone. That friend will leave you in the cold to freeze alone. And Prabhu Shri Ram, in his darkest moment, his scariest moment, all he did is just looked at Prabhu Hanumanji, I should say. And just looking at Hanumanji, Hanumanji reassured him that he will go and he will find that herb. Listen to what Hanumanji does as we clap, as we sing. Kesari Nandana Baladare Ke Maruti Nandana Upakare Ke आओ करे सेवाज पवन सुत महाबली की. Clap with me everybody. बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की. बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की. बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत केसरी नंदन
बलदारी की
मारुति नंदन उपकारी की. केसरी नंदन बलदारी की मारुति नंदन उपकारी की. आओ करे सेवाज पवन सुत महाबली की. बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की. संकट मोचन
नव जो ध्वावे
संकट हो सके
पास न आवे.
संकट मोचन
नव जो ध्वावे
संकट हो सके
पास न आवे.
महिमा गाए दिन रात पवन सुत महाबली की. बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की. बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की. बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की. केसरी नंदन
बलदारी की
मारुति नंदन
उपकारी की.
केसरी नंदन बलदारी की मारुति नंदन उपकारी की. आओ करे सेवाज पवन सुत महाबली की. बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की. बोलो सदा जयकार पवन सुत महाबली की. संकट मोचन
नव जो ध्वावे
संकट हो सके
पास न आवे.
संकट मोचन
नव जो ध्वावे
संकट हो सके
पास न आवे.
महिमा गाए दिन रात पवन सुत महाबली की बोलो सदा जयकार 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 पवन सुत महाबली की जय हनुमान जय जय हनुमान everybody जय हनुमान बोलो जय हनुमान बोलो जय हनुमान बोलो जय हनुमान together जय हनु
बोलो जय
beautiful जय हनुमान बोलो जय हनुमान बोलो जय हनुमान बोलो by yourself जय हनुमान बोलो beautiful जय हनुमान बोलो जय हनुमान बोलो जय हनुमान बोलो by yourself जय हनुमान बोलो जय हनुमान बोलो जय हनुमान बोलो जय हनुमान बोलो one more time जय हनुमान बोलो 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 जय हनुमान प्रेम से बोलो हनुमान स्वामी की little louder प्रेम से बोलो हनुमान स्वामी की and as Hanuman ji he goes my devotees in search of that medicinal herb and as he goes what do you think happened? It is said in the camp of Shri Ram there was a spy. In the camp of Shri Ram there was a spy, and the moment the spy saw Lakshman unconscious and he knew that Hanumanji is about to find that Molsa Jivan, it is said that spy, he goes to Ravana, and looking at Ravana he says, "Oh Ravana, Meghnad your son has struck Lakshman and he is unconscious. However, Hanumanji once again is trying to foil our plan. Hanumanji once again is trying his best to save Lakshman and to help Prabhu Shri Ram. And right now he is in search of that medicinal herb. And if he finds it before the sun rises, Lakshman will be saved. However, if he fails to find it, O Ravan, Sushen says that Lakshman will be gone forever. Therefore, Ravan, you find a way to win this battle by stopping Hanumanji. You find a way to destroy Shri Ram by stopping Hanumanji. Because Lakshman, he is the happiness of Shri Ram. Lakshman is the life of Shri Ram. And if Lakshman falls, Shri Ram falls. Therefore, stop Hanumanji from bringing that plant, from bringing that medicinal herb. Lakshman will be gone. When Lakshman is gone, Shri Ram will be able to be defeated with ease. Now let me pause here again. Let me share something with you. Prabhu Shri Ram is in time right now suffering. This time of his life he's in pain. He's in darkness. He doesn't need more problems. He doesn't need more pain. But in his own camp, there was a spy. In his own camp, there was somebody who was just listening to report back to Ravana. And I will make this point and I'll say it here again tonight. Sometimes your own people in your own camp, that is who you need to be scared of. Sometimes it is the person that hugs you up that you need to be the most afraid of. Sometimes it's the person that taps you on your shoulder and say, "Good job." That is the person you need to run from, because you do not know their intention. And Shri Ram in his own camp there was a spy. Seeing the Lord's in suffering, seeing the Lord broken, this spy decided to report back to Ravana and finish the Lord. This spy decided to report back to Ravana and break and shatter Sri Ram. And Ravana, my dear devotees, hearing the words of the spy, he was filled with joy. He was filled with happiness knowing that Sri Ram is sad. He was filled with joy knowing that Sri Ram is broken. However, he looked at his spy, praising his spy, and he says, we need to find a way to stop Hanumanji. It is said, if you look at the various events in the Ramayana, every time Ravana tried to do something, who stopped him? Hanuman Baba. Every time Ravana tried to hurt Sri Ram, every time Ravana thought he was winning, who made him feel like he was losing? Hanumanji. It is said, Hanumanji, my dear devotees, every single thing that Ravana tried and did, Hanumanji stopped it. So let's do a little quiz here, okay? Answer me loudly and proudly. When Ravana took Sita Devi and he took her to Lanka, who was the one that crossed the ocean? Say it loudly. Hanuman. When Ravana took Sita Devi and placed her in the Ashok garden, who was the one that found her? Hanuman. When Ravana now captured Hanuman, burnt his tail, the entire city of Lanka was burnt. Who burnt it? Hanuman. Hanumanji returned to Sri Ram and they started to build the bridge. Who helped Sri Ram build the bridge to meet Ravana? Hanuman. Hanuman arriving on that bridge now, he had various interactions with Ravana. He had various meetings with Ravana. And every time Ravana did something, Hanumanji was there. And now once again, Ravana thinks he's about to win. Ravana knows Lakshman is lying unconscious. And who is about to stop him again? Hanuman. All you need in life is one person to shield you from the enemies, one person to stand with you in your times of crisis, in your times of pain. And Hanumanji, my dear devotees, in that search, it is that Ravana now, he starts to think of a way to stop Hanumanji. And while Ravana is thinking of a way to stop Hanumanji, it is that Prabhu Sri Ram is just hoping and waiting for Hanumanji to return in his darkest moment. And I'll share something here with you again. Just as how there are the different types of friendship. You all remember what it was again? The friendship of utility, the friendship of pleasure, and the friendship of what? Friendship of the good. It is said there are 4 types of friends now in your life. Must friend, rust friend, just friend, trust friend. I'll say it again. Rust friend, must friend, just friend, and trust friend. Try saying that quick. It is said just as how you have friendships, you have friends as well. And the friends fall in those categories. They either a rust friend, a just friend, a trust friend, or a must friend. And Hanumanji, I'll tell you which one he was. As a matter of fact, you will tell me which one he was. Let's look at the first one. A rust friend. What is a rust friend? A rust friend is when you have a friend and that relationship, as the word says, it's rusty. That relationship, my dear devotee, is very, very rusty. That is that friend who you know from long time, but you have not seen them in years. When you meet them, you stop, you hail them out, and then you don't know how to talk again. The conversation stops right there. They're a rust friend. You need to take off that rust for that conversation to grow. It is that a rust friend, that is that friend who, you ain't really going to invite him to your wedding. You ain't really going to invite him to your home. You're not really going to invite him to anything in your life. You see them, you see them. If you don't see them, you don't see them. The rust friend. If you meet them, hey, how are you? You good? I good. Okay, take care. That's it. A rust friend. Was Hanuman a rust friend? Yes or no? No. The second type of friend, a just friend. It is said, the just friend is that friend, as the word says, you're just friends with them. You know them, you share a relationship with them. If you see them, you can talk, you can laugh, you can hold a conversation with them. But that's it. You don't call them every day. You don't wait for them to call you every day. You don't look for them every day. But if you meet them, you meet them. When you see them, you see them. And you can talk, you can laugh, and you can interact with them. That is the just friend. Was Hanumanji a just friend? No. Then there was the trust friend. It is said a trust friend is that friend who you have in your life, who you can trust, who you can count upon. You may not see them every day, you may not talk to them every day, but you know when you need them, you can count on them. You can trust in them to be there for you. And then finally, the must friend. The must friend is that friend who you must have in your life. That is that friend who you cannot live without, you cannot survive without. Because the must friend is that friend who will walk side by side with you through the rain, the wind, and the sun. The must friend is that friend who will stand with you in the darkness. The must friend is that friend who will never leave you and abandon you in your times of crisis. Was Hanumanji a must friend? Yes, he was a must friend. And in your life and in my life, all of you, you have a rust friend where that relationship is rusty. You have a just friend where you can meet them, you can talk, you can laugh, and that's it. And you have, very few of you have a trust friend and a must friend. And Hanumanji, he was the must friend in the life of Sri Ram. And Ravana knew that if he can stop Hanumanji from bringing that medicinal herb, then Lakshman would be no more. And if Lakshman is no more, Prabhu Sri Ram is no more. And listen to what Ravana is about to do. Everybody. Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Bolo Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Bolo Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Bolo Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Bolo Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Bolo Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Bolo Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Bolo Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Everybody. Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. By yourself, everybody. Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Bolo Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Bolo Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Bolo Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Bolo Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Bolo Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya. Chaupai says, Ohadota eka maramo janava Ravana Kaal Nimi grehava. Bolo Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama. Loudly. Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya. One more time. Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Bolo Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Bolo Jai Ram, Shri Jaya Rama. Bolo Jaya Jaya Bolo Jaya Rama. Prem se bolo Shri Ramachandra ki. It is said Ravana, he goes to one of his friends by the name of Kaal, Nimi. And he says, Kaal, Nimi, Lakshman is lying unconscious. Prabhu Shri Ram is broken. But Hanumanji is looking for the Mol Sajivan. And if he is able to find that Mol Sajivan before the sun begins to rise, it is said Sushen will be able to heal Lakshman. Therefore, Kaal, Nimi, I want you to stop Hanuman. I do not want Hanumanji to reach that medicinal herb. I want you to stop him. And Kaal, Nimi, who is a friend of Ravana, he looks at Ravana and you know what he says? He says, Ravana, who do you want me to stop? Ravana says, I want you to stop Hanumanji. Kaal, Nimi says, Ravana, is that the same Hanumanji who burned down Lanka? Ravana said, yes. Kaal, Nimi said, is that the same Hanumanji who you couldn't stop? Ravana said, yes. Kaal, Nimi looked at Ravana and he said, Ravana, if you couldn't stop him, how can you expect me to stop him? If you have an entire army and Hanumanji has defeated so many of your men, he has foiled so many of your plans, how do you expect me to stop him? And Kaal, Nimi, who was a Rakshas, he looked at Ravana and he said, Ravana, give up the ego, give up your arrogance, give up your negative ways and return Sita Devi to Shri Ram. Because that is the only way you will not be defeated. That is the only way you will not lose your life. Because Ravana, right now you're fighting a losing battle. Right now you're fighting a losing battle. And your ego has gotten the better of you. And Kaal, Nimi, my dear devotee, is telling Ravana these words. Remember, Kaal, Nimi is his friend. Do you know what Ravana did? How many of you think Ravana listened to Kaal, Nimi? How many of you think Ravana got angry with Kaal, Nimi? Which one? Did he listen or did he get angry? He got really angry at Kaal, Nimi. Got really angry at Kaal, Nimi. And Kaal, Nimi, seeing the anger of Ravana, he realized that he had two choices. He either dies at the hand of Ravana, who is filled with so much negativity, or he dies at the hand of Hanumanji. And he knew in his mind he couldn't stop him. He knew in his mind that Hanumanji can never be stopped, he can never be defeated. But just for Ravana not to do him anything, just not for Ravana to hurt him, he looks at Ravana and he says, Ravana, seeing your anger, I will go and I will do what it is I have to do. And Kaal, Nimi, my dear devotees, he goes and you know what he does? He disguises himself in the form of a sage. He removes that negative, that toxic form of that Rakshas, and he disguises himself in the form of a sage. And he sits by a little ashram, by a lake, and he starts to chant the name of Ram. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. And I want to ask you something. Hanumanji is looking for that Sajivan. And Kaal, Nimi is waiting for Hanumanji so that he can stop him, he can hurt him, he can destroy him. But can I ask you something? How do you stop Hanumanji? How do you distract Hanumanji? How do you have Hanumanji in your trap? Anybody know? What does Hanumanji love the most? Who does he love the most? He loves Prabhu Shri Ram. Therefore, if you want to stop Hanumanji, you stop him with the name of Ram. And Kaal, Nimi, disguising in the form of a Rakshas, he started to chant the name of Ram. And it is said Hanumanji, flying, looking for that Mol Sajivan, he begins to fly over where Kaal, Nimi was. And while flying where Kaal, Nimi was, he starts to hear the name of Ram being chanting. And when Hanumanji looks down, he sees Kaal, Nimi, but he doesn't see him in a Rakshas form. He sees him disguised in the form of a sage. And Hanumanji, hearing he's chanting the name of God, he decides, you know what? I will stop and I will pay my respects. I will drink some water and then I will go again. And Hanumanji, he stopped at the feet of Kaal, Nimi. And the moment Kaal, Nimi saw Hanumanji, Kaal, Nimi, he smiled and he started to chant the name of Ram over and over and over again. And Hanumanji, my dear devotees, seeing this sage, hearing this sage chanting the name of Shri Ram, he feels delighted at heart. And I want to pause here again and I want to say something really harsh. Who is Kaal, Nimi? Is he a sage or is he a Rakshas? He's a Rakshas. How did he disguise himself? As a sage, as a Brahmin. Devotees, Hanumanji has stopped at the feet of a Rakshas who was chanting the name of Ram. All because that Rakshas was disguised and looking like me. Dressed very, very nicely, mala, chandan, churki, and chanting the name of Ram. I tell you something. Just because somebody has a churki does not mean they're a baba. Sometimes you have a churki because you're waiting for the 1 year Shraddha. Know that. Just because you wear a dhoti and a kurta does not make you a Pundit. And in the society we are living in now, every and anyone can put on a dhoti, a kurta and a mala. It is up to you to see whether they are divine or not. Because, my dear devotees, in society today, and this will sound harsh, there's many lies, many deception, many betrayals that is taking place. And sometimes you touch the foot of who you think is a Pundit. And they bless you. And when they bless you, everything in your life goes downhill. It may sound harsh, but it's the reality of life today. You have to be careful of the people you trust. You have to be careful of the people who appear to look nice and dress well. Because not everything appears as it is. What does sugar look like? Sugar can sometimes look like salt. Be very, very attentive to what it is you are doing, who it is you are following. Hanumanji is teaching us a very, very valuable lesson here. He comes and he lands at the feet of who he thought is a sage. And Kaal Nimi loved nothing more than that. He loved nothing more than to fool Hanumanji. And in society today, sometimes people love nothing more to fool you. Sometimes they think you are gullible, you're easy to distract. And you, being fooled by them, your entire life goes downhill. It sounds harsh, but it is the reality of the world today. It is the reality of the world today. And Kaal Nimi, filled with so much negative qualities, chanting the name of Ram like the most divine individual. Hanumanji was so distracted with the name of Ram, he lands in front of Kaal Nimi as Kaal Nimi is chanting Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. And as Kaal Nimi is chanting the name of Ram, Hanumanji, he puts his hands together towards him. And you know what Kaal Nimi starts to do? Kaal Nimi starts to talk about all the greatness of Ram. He starts to poison the mind of Hanumanji with the thoughts of Ram. And Hanumanji, hearing the words of Kaal Nimi, he felt good at heart, knowing that Kaal Nimi is so brilliant, he is so knowledgeable, he is praising Sri Ram. And sometimes words can fool you. Words can fool you, and you fall for the words of an unworthy person. And Hanumanji, listening to the words of Kaal Nimi is continuing to chant the name of Sri Ram. Hanumanji, he looks at him and he says, "Oh sage, bless me to drink some water. Bless me with something to drink so that I can continue my journey." And Kaal Nimi, my dear devotees, you know what he did? In the form of this sage, he took a kamandal. And some say that kamandal was filled with a little bit of poison. And he gave the kamandal to Hanuman in the form of a sage. Follow me clearly. In the form of a sage, disguised as a sage, he gave Hanumanji that kamandal. Some said it had poison in that kamandal for Hanumanji to drink. And Hanumanji, seeing the kamandal, he said, "No, this will not quench my thirst. This will not quench my thirst." So now the sage, Kaal Nimi, he says, "Well, go in the river, go in the lake and purify yourself, drink water, come back, sit with me, and we'll chant the name of Sri Ram, and I will christen you. I will initiate you." Follow me again carefully. He says, "Go, take your bath, drink your water, come back and sit with me, and I will initiate you. Allow me to be your guru." Again, fooling and speaking words that are lies and deceptive. Hanumanji, he looks at Kaal Nimi, he goes and he takes his bath. And while taking his bath, something grabbed him. Anybody know what grabbed him in the water? A crocodile. a female crocodile grabbed him in the water. And when that female crocodile grabbed the leg of Hanumanji, Hanumanji liberated the soul one time. And as the soul exited the body of that crocodile, it is said that soul looking at Hanumanji, that divine being, she says, Hanuman, be very careful of who you think is a sage up there. He is none other than a friend of Ravana, a Rakshas, disguised as a sage to fool you. And Hanumanji, hearing the words of this celestial being as he liberates that soul, he goes back up to Kaal Nimi. And Kaal Nimi, seeing him coming, he starts to chant the name of Ram again. He starts to put on an act. He starts to put on a show and pretend to be holy, pretend to be noble. But now Hanumanji was seeing right through him. Hanumanji was seeing the lies that he was telling. And seeing Hanumanji arriving back to him, he looks at Hanuman and he says, Hanuman, sit with me and let me initiate you. Let me christen you. Let us chant the name of Ram. And time is going, time is going. And you know what Hanumanji does? He looks at the sage and he says, Sage, before you christen me, allow me to give you Guru Dakshina. It is said, a noble person, they will never accept money without doing what they have to do. It is said, a Pundit, they will never accept Dakshina without completing the puja. When your Pundit comes to do your prayers, you just give him the Siddha first? No, you don't. You don't. It is said, an unworthy, unnoble person, only they will accept that. And when Kaal Nimi heard Guru Dakshina, you know what he did? He was waiting to accept it, showing the negative qualities that was in him. And the moment Hanumanji said, let me give you Guru Dakshina, and Kaal Nimi waited for the Guru Dakshina, it is said Hanumanji, he took his tail and wrapped it around that Rakshas, lifting the Rakshas in the skies, he dashed him on the ground. And the moment he dashed him on the ground, it is said that holy form, that sage aspect of Kaal Nimi was removed, and Hanumanji saw the Rakshas that was underneath. Hanumanji saw the Rakshas that was disguised as a sage. And Hanumanji, seeing the Rakshas that was disguised, he realized that this was all a trick. He realized it was all a plan to have him to stop. And as he dashed the head of that Rakshas on the ground, the last word to come out of his mouth was Ram. The last word to come out of the mouth of the Rakshas was Ram. Hanumanji, my dear devotees, having lost enough time because he was distracted by an unworthy person, he goes again on his journey. And in your life and in my life, there will be many unworthy people that will try to block us. There will be many unworthy people that will disguise themselves as a friend. And they will try to hurt us, they will try to stop us, they will try to bully us, they will try to abuse us, they will try to accuse us, they will try to take advantage of us. There are many Kaal Nimis existing outside there. There are many people who are pretending to be your friend. Kaal Nimi, he was pretending to be a sage. There are many people in your life pretending to be a friend. There are many people outside there impersonating and being imposters. Know who it is you trust. Know who it is you talk to. Know who it is you give your time to. Know who it is you give your energy to. Because Hanumanji wasted so much of his time and energy on an unworthy person. On an unworthy person. How many of you sitting here tonight, you waste time on an unworthy person? Your energy is very, very sacred. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. Preserve your energy. Preserve your spirit. Because sometimes you give so much of yourself that in the end of the night, you have nothing left for yourself. And Hanumanji teaches you and I, know the person who is underneath the smile. Know the person who is underneath the mala. Know the person who is underneath the hug. Know the person who is underneath the shake hand. Because looks can deceive. Sugar can sometimes be mistaken for salt. And Hanumanji, my dear devotees, Leaving Kaal Nimi, realizing how distracted he got, knowing the time is coming to an end, he goes again in the direction of that medicinal herb. As we are coming to the end of our katha tonight, we clap, we sing, we glorify. Everybody. Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Raghupati Raghav Raja Rama, Patita Pavana Sita Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Raghupati Raghav Raja Rama, Patita Pavana Sita Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Prem se bolo Shri Ramachandra ki. Beautiful. It is said Hanumanji, he goes, and when he arrives there now, he cannot tell which is that herb. The entire mountain is glowing and shining beautifully, and now he doesn't know which one of the items on that mountain is the herb. He doesn't know now. And you know what he did? At that point in time, he could have done two things. He could have said, I do not know which one it is, therefore I cannot help Sri Ram, and return back home empty-handed. Or he could have found a solution to the problem. Anybody know what he did? Did Hanumanji return empty-handed? No. What did he do? Because he could not tell which was the herb on that mountain, what did he do? He lifted up the entire mountain. He lifted up the entire mountain, teaching you and I again that at some point in time you will be faced with a difficult situation. You will have two choices. Either give up and quit, or persevere. Either give up or quit, or persevere. And Hanumanji, he persevered. He lifted up that mountain because he knew Sri Ram was depending on him. It is said a must friend and a friend of the good, they understand how much you depend on them. They understand how much you need them, and they will not disappoint you for someone else. They will not abandon you for someone else. They will not quit on you for someone else. They will stand with you no matter what takes place in their life. And I always say this, if an opportunity can turn your friend from being loyal to disloyal, then something is wrong with the character of your friend. If opportunity, if name, if fame, if money, if sweet words of somebody else can turn the loyalty of your friend, then there's something wrong with the character of that friend. And Hanumanji, he was so focused on his duty that he did not quit, he did not give up. He maintained his loyalty to the one who depended on him. Somebody outside, somebody in your life is depending on you right now. Somebody in your life, be it your son, be it your daughter, be it your dullahin, your dullaha, they depend on you. Don't disappoint them. for another opportunity. Don't disappoint them for somebody with a little sweet words. Don't disappoint them for somebody who smile good at you one day. Because the way someone may treat you can only be temporary. Always remember that. And in society we live in today, opportunity, sweet words, a nice smile, money, name and fame can turn even the best of us. And Hanumanji, he did not quit at this point in time. He did not give up at this point in time. He did not allow anything to destroy him or disrupt him from taking that mountain. His loyalty was so strong to Sri Ram because he knew Sri Ram needed him. Imagine Hanuman had given up. Imagine Hanuman had chosen to do something else and abandon Sri Ram. What would have been Sri Ram's position? Imagine Hanuman, who Sri Ram is counting on, abandon him, turned disloyal, went somewhere else, did something else, decided to quit on him. What would Sri Ram have done? What would Sri Ram have done? Your presence in someone's life, my dear devotees, can mean the world to them. Your presence in someone's life can mean the world to them. Don't disappoint them for someone else. Don't disappoint the person who stands with you through good and bad. Stand with that person no matter what. And this is Hanumanji. He knew Sri Ram counted upon him. He knew Sri Ram needed him. He could not disappoint him. He could not quit on him now. And Hanumanji, lifting up that entire mountain, he goes back in the direction of Sri Ram. It is said as he's flying back in the direction of Sri Ram having Lakshman lying on his lap, tears falling from his eyes. Listen to what Sri Ram says to Lakshman. Listen to how Jambavan, Vibhishan and all of the others, they react. Listen to what Sri Ram is about to do. And if Hanumanji is about to arrive there on time. As we do our final chaupai tonight, clap with me, sing with me as we glorify Him. Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Shri Ram, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Shri Ram, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Shri Ram, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Shri Ram, Jai Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jai
Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama,
Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Shri Ram, Jai Rama, Jai Jai
Rama.
O Ram, Lakshman, Lakshman Nihare, Bole Bachan Manuja Anusare, Bol Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Shri Ram, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Jai Ram, Shri Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Bol Shri Ram, Jai Rama. My dear devotees, it is said, Prabhu Shri Ram with tears in his eyes, holding the unconscious body of Lakshman, placing the head of Lakshman on his lap. He starts to talk to Lakshman. He says, "Oh Lakshman, you came into this forest with me, leaving the comfort of your home, leaving the comfort of mother and father to look after me, to take care of me. And now because of you being here with me, watch what took place in your life. You lie lifeless, you lie unconscious. Lakshman, you left the safety of the kingdom and you walked through the sun with me. You walked through the winds and the rains with me, O Lakshman. And now, watch what is happening. How am I going to explain this to Ma? How am I going to explain this to all of those in Ayodhya? O Lakshman, your life is as dear to me as anyone. Your life is as sacred to me as anyone. And Prabhu Shri Ram, my dear devotees, with tears in his eyes, he starts to cry. He starts to beg for Lakshman to open his eyes. But all how he's crying, all how he's praying, all how he is begging, Lakshman doesn't move. Lakshman doesn't open his eyes. Prabhu Shri Ram, he sits there with a mind filled with doubt. He sits there with a mind filled with worry. And all he's holding on to is Hanumanji. All he's holding on to is the loyalty of Hanumanji, the friendship of Hanumanji, knowing fully well that Hanumanji would not abandon him for anyone else, knowing Hanumanji would never remove that loyalty, knowing Hanumanji would stand with him. It is said in the mind of Shri Ram, he knew Hanumanji would come. It is said, Jambavan, Angar, Vibhishan, seeing the tears in the eyes of Shri Ram, seeing the pain in the eyes of Shri Ram, they just waited for Hanumanji to come. Hanumanji, he continued on his journey there. And it is said, the moment for that sun had to rise. It is said the sun was about to rise. And Prabhu Shri Ram, realizing that the sun is about to rise, he begs Lakshman, open your eyes and talk to me. Open your eyes and see me. Hug me. Love me, O Lakshman. Support me. Without you in my life, I do not know what I can do. Without you in my life, I do not know how I can continue. And it is said, my dear devotees, as the time was approaching for that sun to rise, Prabhu Shri Ram, he meditated his mind on Hanumanji, knowing Hanumanji won't disappoint him. It is said, Jambavan, he looks to the skies. Angar, he looks to the skies. Vibhishan, he looks to the skies, waiting for Hanumanji to come. And it is said, as that sun was about to rise, Hanumanji landed. And the moment Hanumanji landed with this mountain, it is said, Sushen, he took that Morse Jivan, that medicine herb, and he placed it by the nose of Lakshman. The moment he placed it by the nose of Lakshman, it is said the sun began to rise. The moment the sun began to rise, the earth started to tremble. The heavens, they burst open. The devtas started to shower flowers as the eyes of Lakshman opened. The moment the eyes of Lakshman opened, Prabhu Shri Ram, he embraced him and he hugged him. He got up and he looked at Hanumanji with tears in the eyes of Shri Ram. He hugged Hanumanji. And the moment Shri Ram embraced Hanumanji, my dear devotees, it is that everyone there, they started to sing, they started to chant, they started to glorify. As we bring the curtains down tonight, my dear devotees, clap with me, sing with me, glorify with me. In the name of Hanumanji, loudly and proudly, everybody, Prem Sabal Hanuman Swami Ki! Prem Sabal Hanuman Swami Ki! Prem Sabal Hanuman Swami Ki! Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama 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 Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama. Loudly and proudly, Prem Sabal Hanuman Swami Ki! And it is said, Prabhu Shri Ram embracing Hanumanji, knowing it was because of his determination, his loyalty, his friendship, that Lakshman was able to open his eyes. And it is said everyone there, they were so happy, filled with joy, filled with smiles. They celebrated, they rejoiced, they chanted, and they worshipped Prabhu Shri Ram. They celebrated Hanumanji as Lakshman was able to regain his consciousness. My dear devotees, as we have come to the end of our little satsang tonight, the katha was harsh, I know that. The katha would have fallen in the gardens of many people, I know that. But let me explain something to you. You need to uphold your dharma. Dharma is falling. Dharma is falling at a rapid rate, and we are allowing ourselves to be fooled by the fake smiles of the people around us. We are allowing ourselves to be destroyed by those that are unworthy, those that are not noble and divine. My simple wish to each and every one of you tonight, firstly, be a friend like Hanumanji. Be a friend of the good. Be a must friend. Not only should you be a friend like Hanumanji, but be a loyal person. Be a loyal person to those in your life. Because what did I say in the beginning? Loyalty is rare and betrayal is where? Everywhere. Betrayal can come in the snap of a finger. And the last thing I'll tell you, be careful of the people you have in your life. Be careful of the people who you worship, the people who you put on a pedestal. Be careful of those who you call a friend. Because sometimes sugar can be mistaken for what? Salt. And that is the reality of life today. I pray that Hanuman Baba is in each and every one of you so that you can always uphold Dharma. I pray that Hanumanji blesses you to see the noble from those that are not. To see the divinity from those that are hiding that divinity and those that are trying to conceal their divinity. Or should I say, those that are afraid to bring out their divinity. See the divinity in the people around you. Allow the people around you to bring out that divinity, because divinity is being overshadowed in the world today. Be a friend like Hanumanji, a loyal friend, a trusted friend, a must friend, a friend of the good. Prem se bolo Hanuman Swami ki, Prabhu Shri Ramachandra ki. So as we have come to the end of our simple satsang tonight, we all glorify in Hanuman Chalisa. And then of course I will ask Panditji to bring greetings. We'll have our vote of thanks and our closing arati. Tonight, my dear devotees, right where you are, meditate your mind upon Hanuman Baba. Bring him into your mind, bring him into your heart, bring him into your life, and allow him to awaken the divinity from within you. Allow him, my dear devotees, to bless you to uphold Dharma. Allow him to bless you to be a must friend. Allow him to bless you to be a friend of the good. Allow him to bless you with loyalty. Allow him to take away all of those that are negative and impure from your life. As we say to Hanuman Baba tonight, Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja, Nijamana Mukura Sudar, Varna Raghuvar Vimalayasha, Jodaya Kapalachar, Borhahina Tanujanike, Sumiro Pavanu Kumar, Balabudhi Vidya Dehumuhi, Arahu Kalesh Vikar. Clap with me, sing with me as we awaken the divinity, as we welcome Hanuman Baba into our life. Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, 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 Jai Hanuman Gyana Guna Sagar, Jai Kabisha Dehulo Kau Jagar, Rama Duta Atulita Bharadama, Anjali Putra Pavan Sutanama, Mahavira Vikram Bajrangi, Kumati Nivar Sumati Ke Sangi, Anjana Varana Viraj Subesha, Kalana Kundala Guna Chidakesha. Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama. Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama. Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai 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 Rama
तुम्हारे मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर कई सब जग गाना तुरा सहस्रयोजन बलवान जियो ताहि मधुर वरदान प्रभु बोध कामिनी मुख माई जल्दी लागी गई अचरज नाई तुरे कम काज जगत के जेते तुरे कम लोक रहे तुमरे तेते
Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama
राम द्वारे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिन पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरण तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपे तीन लोक हंस के कावे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे
Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama
नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंजन हनुमत वीरा संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई आवे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे
Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama
चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा हे परिसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुरावे अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सखा रहो रघुपति के दासा
Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama
तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के सुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुपति पुर जाहे जहाँ जपत हरि भक्त कहाए और देवता चित्ता धरे हनुमत से सर्व सुख करे कदि बीते सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा
Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama
जय 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 हनुमान तोय भरे हनुमान चालीसा तोय सेहि जाके गारीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा कीजे नाथ हृदय महडेरा जय राम श्री राम जय राम 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 जय राम श्री राम जय राम
Jai Rama, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Rama. Everybody, Shri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Rama. 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 Shri Rama, Jai Rama. Shri Rama Jai Ram Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama 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 Pavan Tanaya Sankataran Mangala Murti Roop Rama Lakana Sita Sahita Hridaya Vasu Surabhoop. Loudly and proudly Prem Sabala Hanuman Swami Ki. Now with this, my dear devotees, we have come to the end of our simple little discourse tonight. So I pass to my Peterji, Panakim Ajay Rambally. Baba, please come and bring very, very short greetings, and then we'll have the vote of thanks.
Prem Solo Prabhu Shri Ramachandra ki Jai, Hanuman Swami ki Jai. Night after night I've been saying this to each Monday, and tonight again I will say to each and every one of you, let us sit upright, put our hands together. Your Guru is a very important person in your life. The mantra that he whispers in your ears is doubly important. Those of us who are fortunate to have your Guru alive, you are very fortunate. Those of not, chant that Guru mantra. And who are Christians yet? Om Namah Shivaya. The Guru mantra as we pray together. Hari Om. Guru da Brahma, Guru da Vishnu, Guru da Deva Maheshwara, Guru da Sakshat Padam Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Prem Solo Shri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Officiating Vyasji, Pundit Ajay, members of group, the devotees, the executive members, to our slaughters, my godchildren, Ravana, her mom and her dad. Pundit gave a beautiful message about friendship, and I hope and pray that we maintain that. Panditji, all I can say is keep up the good work that Bhagwan gave to you, Mother Saraswati gave to you to spread dharma to the length and breadth of this country. I may not be around for much long, but I hope and pray that you continue to tread in the pathway of dharma, anchor your feet on the ground, keep your head above the clouds, and propagate dharma to the best of your ability. To my Dulahin, I say thank you for being and supporting our son to the length and breadth of this country. And life is so funny today that we are here and we are sure for tomorrow. But nevertheless, I am here to give the vote of thanks on behalf of my godchildren for taking the opportunity to host this night tonight together with the executive member of this beautiful mandir. Again, they would like to thank each and every one of you for accepting their invitation and for being here. So to the executive members of the beautiful shrine, which I was once part of, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to be here, and may you continue to propagate dharma to the best of your ability, to the few families and friends and the congregation that you have here. To my godchildren who have come from near and far, to some who I didn't see in the last 2 years because of the pandemic, I hope and pray that I could see you now, or you could see me vice versa. Okay, all it takes is a phone call to Hanuman Baba, and I will respond. Again, Panditji, God bless you. And to you, the members, God bless each and every one. To my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, living all the way from Faizabad, which is just half an hour drive. God bless you for being here. To Priya, mom and dad, this is 10 minutes drive from Arabella. God bless you for being here. Sitaram to each and every one of you.
मेरे devotees, आप लोग कराओ जाइए. Let us all stand as we join together in arati. Hari Arati कीजिए हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी आरती कीजिए हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी आरती कीजिए हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी जाके बंग से गिरे वर कापे रोग दोष जाके निकट न जाके बोलो आरती कीजिए हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी अंजनी पुत्र महाबलदाई संतन के प्रभु सदा सहाय बोल आरती कीजिए हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी लंका सकोट समुद्र से काई जात पवन सुत मारन लाए बोल आरती कीजिए हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ सुरनन मुनि आरती उतारे जय 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 हनुमान उचारे बोलो आरती कीजिए हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ लाकी बोलो आरती कीजिए हनुमान लाकी दुष्ट दलन रघुनाथ चम चम नच रे वीर हनुमाना बोल चम चम नच रे वीर हनुमाना कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना 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 चम 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 नच रे वीर हनुमाना ओ चम चम नच रे वीर हनुमाना कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना ओ कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना चम 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 नाच रे वीर हनुमाना चम चम नाच रे वीर हनुमाना कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
ओ कहते हैं लोग, कहते हैं लोग, कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना।
चम 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 नाच रे कबीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच रे कबीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच रे कबीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच रे कबीर हनुमाना।
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
ओ कहते हैं लोग, कहते हैं लोग, कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना।
चम 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 नाच रे कबीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच रे कबीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच रे कबीर हनुमाना,
चम चम नाच रे कबीर हनुमाना।
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
ओ कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना,
कहते हैं लोग इस राम का दीवाना।
चम 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 नाच रे कबीर हनुमान, बोलो चम नाच रे कबीर हनुमाना, हनुमाना वीर हनुमाना, 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 वीर हनुमाना. Let us all put hands together, close our beautiful eyes, bow hands, as we have come to the end of our beautiful satsang tonight. Hari Om, Om Mandrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardanam Yarpojatam Maya Deva Paripuranam Tarastame Shiva Hare Shiva Rama Sake Prabhu Trivirata Parivara Nahe Vibhu Ajajane Shad Yandrava Pahimam Shiva Hare Vijayam Kuru Me Varam Pratidinam Kushalam Jaya Mangalam. As a family, one voice, everybody. Tvameva Mata Chapita. Tvameva sarvam, Tvameva sarvam. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. प्रेम से बोलो गणेश भगवान की, शंकर भगवान की, उमापति महादेव की. As loud as you can for Hanuman Baba. Prem Sabal Hanuman Swami ki. In the name of your Dharma, Sanatan Dharma. Prem Sabal Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma ki. Prem Sabal Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma ki. Prem Sabal Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma ki. Turn to those next to you and greet each other. Sita Ram. Please take your seats, my dear devotees. Thank you all so very, very much for being here. To, of course, Bayadeo, Shaman Devi, and the entire family, thank you for having us. To the members of the temple, may Bhagwan bless you. To the members of my group, I thank you very, very much for accompanying me night after night. My dear friends, until the next time I have the luck to be here with you and the fortune to be here with you, I say to each and every one of you, Sabkoi!
संगीत प्रदर्शन